Hello there. This is a capstone project of my research on effects of big data on enterprise transformation. So out of the given topics, I've chosen to go with effects of big data on enterprise transformation, research domain and justification. My research domain here is big data. Big data is generally a collection of large volumes of datasets to find useful patterns that can bring value to organizations or individuals. When the big data is mined to one's use, it can bring productive benefits to the enterprise or an individual. For any profit-driven enterprise, the main goal of the firm is to increase the profit margin, gain competitive advantage, and increase its market share. With the help of big data, these goals can be achieved, transforming the enterprises. Methodology. The chosen methodology here is to just researching and find relevant papers regarding effects of big data on enterprise transformation. Literature review. So these are my 12 papers of researches I've done on. So each paper has important significance on its own. So each paper has its own value adding up to the total project. A review of completed research has been conducted on the chosen domain to identify certain findings. The addressed findings are all these: building with big data, transforming enterprises. Big data is for everyone, not just for small enterprises, not just for large enterprises, sorry. Reasons small to big organizations should tackle big data. How big data drive tourism enterprises integration innovation. How big data brings changes in any industry, irrespective of the industry and irrespective of the size of the enterprise. How it can bring value to the organization, or it can also be incorporated in any of the important aspects of the production cycle or the enterprise, just like big data in product life cycle management, big data and servitization. And of course there are a few big data challenges, and yeah, how to tackle them is given as well. So these are my research findings. Big data is transformed itself into a factor of production, just like labor and resources. MJ suggests that it is important for every enterprise to bring big data, as many enterprises have already been using big data. You'd be falling behind if you're not still using big data, because many of the big enterprises are already into big data and finding important patterns from it. Amazon itself claims that 30% of their sales are generated from user recommendations. User recommendations are something which can be found by mining user or consumer analytics or buying behaviors of the consumers. So Amazon itself claimed that 30% of their sales are being generated from those user recommendations. Servitization is value added to the services or products offered by an enterprise. So servitization is something you'd be getting if you buy a product from a, a company or enterprise. You'd be getting the added on warranty or service or free repair, Apple Care, etc. are examples of servitization. With the help of big data, servitization can transform an enterprise. Most of the car manufacturers offer services of softwares like GPS, video, or output along with the products. The data acquired from these softwares can be further mined to understand the consumer behavior and so on, like just from mining the GPS, tracking the way the speed limits are being changed, and etc. Big data provides a potential for data bypassing between real estate enterprises. As told, irrespective of the industry of which the enterprise is in, big data has already shown the transformation of enterprise in it. Big data provides a potential for data bypassing between real estate enterprises and real estate buyers, eliminating real estate agents, which reduces a lot of prices of properties. A, re, a realtor buyer can use big data to forecast supply and demand to favor his investments. Big data can transform enterprises in many ways. One of those ways can be big data incorporation in any enterprise can be effective. PEDs, like as a told, big data can also be used in any of the important aspects or part of the whole enterprise. One such is using big data in product lifecycle management. PEDs, like radio frequency identification devices, can be tagged along with the products in their entire production life cycle to attain different patterns from it and how the product's behavior in different stages, etc. So it has many methodologies to perform or incorporate big data into the enterprise. One of those is Levitt's model of organizational change. It's based on four variables. There are people, technology, structure, and task. Later, the fifth element, environment, is added, and it just depends on each variable depends on the other. If a change in one variable can bring change in another variable as well. So that's how the methodology works. Sutherland, who is a senior VP of technology at Oracle, believed that big data is so vast and can be accumulated or gathered from any public domains. So big data is being accumulated every minute in public domains like social medias, like Facebook, Twitter, and etc. So small enterprises can get their hands on those public domains and just grab information from them and just use the variety of information being accumulated over there and can use it there to their own use. Irrespective of how big the organization is, they can still use big data in their enterprise. And it ends up giving advantages to them. It can also be used to acquire physiological data for deep understanding of consumers. So the data produced using wearable multi-sensors like heart rate, all these wearable smartwatches and everything can provide you the heart rate, brain activity is important. All these can be called as behavior analytics, and you can gather more information from those as well. Use of big data in collecting and analyzing customer in tourist enterprise. In a tourist enterprise, you can help fetch data regarding customer needs, spending, behavior, consumption, market, all this can be covered in tourism. So each enterprise can use big data and use all those consumer data and use it for their own need or use in return for their own benefit in return. So with all these advantages, it also have few challenges. The main are speed, accuracy, and storage. So big data is disruptive and is produced every second. So to keep a tab on that, so to keep a tab on that, you should be ready to have a big storage or something to get to properly function all the big data or something. Storage of ever accumulating data can be a challenge as well. So data is being accumulated every second, and you should be ready to take in the variety of information you're going to be needed. So accuracy of data is also a challenge because out of the big vast data sets, it is the only variety or some information is only relevant to you if you're going to be needed that. So you should be focusing on accuracy as well. So conclusion would be suggesting from above findings, big data helps an enterprise to completely transform. Big data can be incorporated in different aspects of enterprises like servitization, product lifecycle, etc. Irrespective of how big an enterprise or organization is and what industry the enterprise is in, big data caters every enterprise. The challenges like speed, storage, accuracy are hurdles and can be tackled. So a strong base for big data should be considered and suitable analytics which can process data with speed and accuracy, storage warehouses for everything, and are to be decided and managed efficiently to achieve competitive advantage over others. So reflection of this capstone project. Taking up a capstone project in my final semester made me integrate all the knowledge skills I acquired at this point of my career. It also made me understand different perspectives in the industry and learn from the research projects.